Lauren and Kyle here, bringing you Real Talk with Freedom Team Realtors, the most scintillating real estate duo in the Fox Cities.
As always, we're here to share valuable experiences and information that we have. We always respect our clients' privacy, but sharing in hopes that it may help you in some way.
All right, let's get to it. I want to talk about for sale by owner. I understand why it can be appealing. You got a most recent example of that?
I do actually. This one was kind of close to home because it was a family member. And so, about, I would say, a year ago, I got a call from this family member, and I went over and spent quite a bit of time going through the home, talking about things that needed to be either like cleaned up, repaired, remodeled, just all the prep stuff to get a home ready for sale. And then obviously gave my opinion on pricing and the process and how things would go. And so great conversation, everything. Well, sadly, due to health reasons, she passed away about 9 months or whatever it was after that. And so her family took over the estate and the home, and they're super nice. I was able to connect with the relative that was in charge of everything, and she wanted to sell the home for sale by owner. And we talked about how I had helped, my relative in, prior, and how we had gone through the home and had a plan. And, I offered the same support and services to her as well. But she was adamant that they were going to sell for sale by owner, and for then it was financial. She believed, they would get more money by not paying commission to a real estate agent,
Yep.
which is super common, and I totally get it.
Yeah, I get it. Honestly, when we've done flips before, we've sat there and had that conversation
Yes.
of like, are we gonna pay? Like, cause we, yes, we're realtors and we still thought about it, but we had to get to it's like, no, if we will be cutting ourselves off 80% of the
Right.
market. What's out there? People work with realtors to represent them, and so competition makes for a better
Well,
price.
and the thing is, what happened and what happens so commonly is the home will sit on the market because it doesn't get put on, the thousands of websites that it does when you put it on the MLS and use the channels that we do. And so it's at the higher price. And usually then it gets a little bit of a stigma. People think something's
Yeah,
wrong with it,
that's
or
blood in the water. We
yeah.
call it when we see that it's sat on the market for a little bit. Now it's time to put in way lower offers. If you don't price appropriately up front, not only do you cost yourself because you price drop it to make it more appealing, but now that's sat on the market at that price, as I said, blood and water. Now we're going even lower than that, so you cost yourself even more.
Right. Well, and then all that time passes. So you've got how many months invested, and you're dealing with the phone calls from potential buyers and showings and scheduling and all the stuff that, we usually handle. So you're dealing with all that stress. You've got all this time that passes, and then ultimately you end up calling an agent anyways. So
Yeah.
you've lost the time, which translates to money. You're paying the mortgage payments, you're paying the taxes in that interim. So it does cost a little bit, and now you've got the property stigma in some cases, and so
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like I said before, we we even compl wow, can I talk to contemplate? I said contemplate.
you got
Okay,
it.
okay. I was trying to say a big word. It doesn't happen very often. But we even contemplate that we're not going to pay it either. So I totally get it. But it's just the thing is like the numbers show out there that yeah, you do anywhere 5 to 15% better with a
Yes.
realtor. So I mean that's just on average. So even if you kind of break even on it and you don't do the overpricing or anything else, you sell your house, you still spent all of your time to do that.
Right.
Plus, one thing people don't think about, legal disclosures.
Right.
You know, even if you sold a few properties, you maybe sold five. If you're not an agent, it's not hundreds of them. And to be trained on what the current proper disclosures are, because we all see I was going to say talk badly. I mean nothing against it, but I was going to say train. We all see how things are written when they you just do an interfamily
Yeah.
exchange at the title company and the actual, which fine and dandy if you're just between family members and there's no chance you're going to end up in the courtroom. But to a stranger, to sell it like that and not have the proper disclosures, I mean, heaven
I think
forbid you ever to be there.
this is just where we're sharing, right? Like we've seen it go badly, right?
Yes.
And badly usually means costly in one way, shape, or form. It can be like insanely stressful for people, and we're not talking about an extra $500 when it comes to legal issues, right? Like there's attorneys and big dollar signs and all this time that gets invested in the situation. So I get it. Like you said, we contemplate doing this stuff
Yeah.
ourselves, but it
But
is
it's
so
just
worth
the
hiring a.
percentages.
Yeah,
You can do it in certain circumstances and have it work out fine and maybe beat
yes,
the averages and the norms, but you still fail on the legal side of it and disclosures if it ever would come to that. So I don't know. You gotta weigh it out. You're definitely taking a gamble, and the law of averages says most of the time you're going to lose.
yeah. But we're always happy to help and answer questions either
Yeah.
way. Even if you want to do it yourself and you just want to bounce some ideas off us, like, hey, we're here, phone call away. But our real experiences and the real talk today is that for sale by owner can be a very costly situation, time, money, stress. Usually you don't win. You don't end up with more money in your pocket. You usually end up with a bigger headache, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. Real Talk with Freedom Team Realtors. Until next time.